Get out your book, boys. We're about to read parts of the most important parts of chapter 35. You're always searching for freedom. I'm going to be sharing the most important snippets of this fundamental book on spiritual masculinity. So 35, you are always searching for freedom. It's page 126 on this paperback edition. The essential masculine ecstasy is in the moment of release from constraint. This could occur when facing death and living through it, succeeding and thus being released from your purpose, and in competition, which is ritual threat of death. The masculine is always seeking release from constraint into freedom. The feminine often doesn't understand these masculine ways and needs. What are the most common forms of masculine ecstasy? We can think of one, right? Orgasm, the male orgasm. It's all about release. Most sports provide this masculine thrill of release from constraint into freedom. In football, for instance, the team with the ball is constrained by the other team that is lined up in front and ready to block them. The challenge is to break through the line and carry the ball to freedom. So people with masculine essence are always looking for freedom. And the irony of this, as men, masculine men, we always have goals. We always have checklists. We're always very building things, right? We're always building things. That's just the way it is. And ironically, on the spiritual path, the ultimate release is a release of those things. The very release of the thing that makes us masculine, right? So to be spiritual free is to be free of the constraints of needing to achieve, of striving for goals. Now, I'm not saying we do that now. That this is where I'm like, it's a journey, it's a progression. But simply having the awareness of knowing that these are illusions, this isn't real. Like all these goals we make and building and having an empire, well, it's a drive that all of us men have. And maybe the empire doesn't look the same for everybody. But overall, it's an empire we are building. It's fulfillment, purpose. And the ultimate purpose is somehow releasing all of that. So let me continue on here. Typical masculine desire for freedom involves the feeling of death, which is the ultimate masculine fear and freedom in one way or another. So it's funny here, it's interesting. It says that the feeling of death is the ultimate masculine fear and freedom. And I genuinely believe that when we go from boyhood to manhood, the biggest marker, there's an ant on my screen, give me a sec. The ultimate marker of knowing whether we transitioned into manhood is a confrontation of death, of coming to terms and facing death. I'm not saying we face death like we're almost dying, like we have a near-death experience. That's not what I'm trying to say, but rather we have realized our mortality. We know we won't live forever, and thus we become men. A lot of these loudmouth, aggressive-ass, selfish-ass men, if you want to call them men, are not men. They're not masculine men. An animal that is afraid, especially a male, you know what he does, right? He's aggressive. He bares his teeth. He has to look as big and strong as possible. A lot of these men, we're animals, right? We do the same thing. And I've been guilty of that, all right? I've been guilty. It's our natural drive of survival. A lot of these dudes, not men, they're still in boyhood psychology. But anyway, I'm not trying to talk shit. It's not the point of this, but rather, it's funny that a lot of people delude themselves into thinking that that's what manhood is, being selfish and aggressive and all this when that's not the case at all. The same capacity to face death is necessary for spiritual freedom. To live free in spirit, you must be willing to face your fears and let go of anything that limits your love. The attachment to comfort and security is what limits most men in their capacity to make a spiritual touchdown. The other team is your own need for private security. You are fighting a war with your own self-defense, your own self-sense. To be free is to die to your need to be a separate self. No stress means no thoughts. no sense of protected self, no mission to accomplish the end of the masculine game. And that's the irony of it. The end of the masculine game is the ultimate freedom. So you see here how the death of ourselves, of our ego, of our mission, is the ultimate freedom. It eats itself. Something definitely to contemplate. I still genuinely believe, although this is the ultimate oneness, enlightenment, whatever, building alliances with our shadows, becoming the best man, fulfilling layers of our purpose, all these are still good, valid ways of living. That was this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you like these chapters, if you like me reading and analyzing them. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at, and I'll see you on the next one.